Good morning, Rooster, and good morning, everybody else, and welcome to Front Porch Friday here on the Farm to Table Show morning edition. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. As you can see, the chat box is already active. Folks are over there chatting, saying good morning to each other and everything. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, bro. And I don't see her comment, but you said Rebecca was in. So good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Scotty. Scotty, right it is. Rise and shine, all you tablers. It is time to get down and funky on Front Porch Friday, but watch out for those rabid raccoons. I think I need to hire Scotty to be my rider. Uh, tending to a sick with today, otherwise good. Don't get sick, man. Don't get sick. Anyway, good morning, Robbie. Glad to see you in. Yeah, yeah. It's a funny thing with the early. There's sometimes comments don't pop in on the chat on my end. Now y'all can see them, but it just doesn't show up on my end. But anyway, let's see. There is the link um, for joining in. I know our good buddy Jack Dyer said that he might. There's Jack. Speaking of Jack, there he is. Said he might join us this morning. I don't know. Hey, good morning, Jeff. Muddy Acres, come on in. Come on in. Pull up a chair on the porch here. We're gonna uh, hang out this morning. But I tell you what, before we do, since it is Friday and things are a little bit different, we're gonna go ahead and get to Jack's redneck weather report and get that so I don't forget. We'll get to chatting and talking and laughing, and I'll forget all about it. So let's jump on over there and see what the weather report is today. Good morning, Ed Kirkpatrick. Glad to see you in. Uh, anyway, let's see. What do we got here? There we go. And all right.
Well, good morning, Rednecks. It is 63 degrees this morning, May the 23rd, 2025. Got 11-mile-an-hour eastern wind, making it feel like it's 61 degrees. We're going to get to 87 today. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Wow. All right. Nice weather. Jack, you're sounding like that head stuff is still hanging around. Good morning, Barb Taylor. Glad to have you in. Happy Friday. All right. Thank you, Jack. Well, but he's going to join us. Well, come on in on the porch there, Jack. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
But anyway, good morning, Joy Bartlett. Glad to see you in this morning. And well, Jack, that head cold seems to be hanging around.
Well, it's a upper respiratory infection.
I had one of those before. Actually, I used to have those all the time. But
I get them all the time, year round.
yep, it's
Sip
not
of coffee
fun.
myself.
Not fun. But
It's probably not as good as farm to table coffee, but it's okay.
I don't know about that. Anyway,
It's been a rough week and a half, 2 weeks.
I'm telling you, man, I was glad you found ways to keep on getting things done. But
I was tempted more than I can say that this morning to hit auto read, but I've barreled through it.
there you go. Yeah, there's been a few of the mornings this week getting home at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, thinking, man, wish I had something to do, put on there so I didn't have to get up.
Yeah.
Uh, well, bro, why don't you? Well, it is 7:04 in the evening your time over there, bro. Get you a cup of coffee.
You can have coffee in the evenings, Keith.
Yeah, he knows. He
Uh,
said he found him a barista stand down the road from where he lives, so I'm over there. So I'm hoping he. Good morning, Chris. Glad you're in. Scotty says rainy and 44 out there. Anyway, KK.
well,
No, but anyway, so yeah, he said he had a nor'easter moving in, so oh, it's I guess so. But anyway, well, it is.
well, I was hoping to be traveling this weekend. I was hoping to go to South Dakota, but I got too sick and too much stuff backed up on me.
Yeah, it happens. That's kind of where I'm at with pretty much anything right now. Is the to do list is not getting to done. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where good morning there, Greg or Donna. I'm assuming it's Greg, but anyway, uh,
Chirosa?
yeah, Chirosa. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, and Terry says we have a monsoon coming in from the sounds of it.
Hey, love from India. How about that?
Hey, there we go. Well, welcome.
Welcome in from India.
One of the places in the world I have never been.
I have never been to India myself. We're supposed to have chances of rain today. I didn't put it in the forecast because it doesn't look very strong. But
Right. Well, that's I think that's kind of ours. It shows 35% chance. When I scroll across the screen, it's like at 11 p.m. tonight, and in early hours of the morning Saturday, which of all
John here, I think from Delighted Acres. I see somebody say good morning, Delighted. Scotty did.
I seen it, but I haven't seen the
I
comment.
haven't seen John's comment, but
There it is.
John,
Morning,
look,
y'all.
I
Yeah,
still don't have a Delighted Acres hat on my head, do I?
there it is. There it says morning, y'all. So, yeah, it slipped in there in the midst of some things. But anyway, well, good morning, John. Yeah, and uh, yeah. Oh, it looks like Terry may be heading to India to meet with part of their team, but they keep delaying it.
I had a chance to go there on a missions trip, but I just couldn't work out the logistics.
Yeah, it's I mean, I like the food, so I think I'm
Oh, me too. Me too. Well, you can look at me. I don't turn away very many kinds of food.
right. I'm a
There's John. I
yeah,
see him up there.
yeah. I'm a big fan of. I like the curry, pork and the curry and
For
stuff.
sure. For sure.
Indian time, 4:37 p.m. Yeah, that's so so. Good afternoon over
Yeah.
there.
Good afternoon.
But anyway, yeah, it's
John's winking at me because I don't have a hat on, I guess.
something like that,
It's
probably.
not a delighted hat.
Yeah, but well, it's one of those things. If like I said, I mean, going to sleep, taking showers, going to church, few places I don't wear a hat, but not many.
I
But
wanted to hear more of yesterday's broadcast, and I haven't got to go back and watch it, but I ended up working on my truck all morning and
but
didn't get to catch the show yesterday. So,
oh well, that's all right. It's always out there. That's the beautiful thing about them. But yeah, we were. Yesterday was. Let me see. I have forgotten since yesterday.
it was,
Home
what's
medicine.
his face?
Yeah, home
Yeah.
medicine. Well,
Yeah.
we put up a short that reposted the video with Zach Bauer yesterday.
That's what it was. Zach Bauer.
Yeah,
Couldn't think of his name.
we reposted that. Uh, you know,
I might check it out, Terry. I will for sure.
but yeah, it's yeah, it was. Of course, you go through. We posted it on the old, when we were doing the other channel experiment, and so then when we came back over here, it's like went through, cleaned up some of the edits, and Greg is still sleepy at the moment.
You, you tell Greg the day is burning, my friend. Get up,
No
get
kidding.
going.
Sun's coming up outside. You
Yeah, it's starting to break light.
But anyway, yeah, it's it's funny how I mean, sometimes those videos. Oh, Scotty said we're being witch doctors. Uh, be careful saying that, Scotty.
If it makes me feel better, no, I wouldn't try anything against the Bible. But
Yeah.
if it helped me otherwise, I'll try it.
Uh,
God created it. I'll use it.
right. But oh, Terry said that his wife's interested in Dr. Jack's class, uh, and said he'd take it, but he doesn't have time, and it's expensive. That's the thing with a lot of those things. I mean, it's there is they charge for it, and I mean, which that's their prerogative. But anyway, it's
We dabble in a lot of that, but we're YouTube educated more
well, yeah.
so than anything, and a lot of and some in person stuff, but we have never taken any classes.
Well, Krishna, I'm gonna go ahead and answer your question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, but what I have learned in being in war is that, in all honesty, nobody wins. Um, you know,
Yeah,
a politician might win, or somebody like that, but or somebody else, but nobody actually wins.
I would agree with that.
But anyway, but
There's more losers than just one on each side.
that's it. I guarantee it. And so, never a good thing when it reaches that point with things.
You know,
And which Bro said not his cup of tea, but but yeah, it's I don't know I don't know enough of the. I mean, I know there's been a history there for a lot of years, but I don't know enough of what's going on over there with it to intelligently comment on it beyond just my own experiences with war. And so, generally speaking, nobody wins. But anyway, uh, so uh, and I have found that more often than not, it's over land, it's over money, it's over a woman, it's over historically speaking. Uh,
historically speaking, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's power, control, those types of things, or different ideologies, religions. So that's just kind of where I leave that. And
Is that, did they say that was Greg that is sleeping up with us, or Donna that's saying Greg's
well,
sleeping?
I don't know which one it actually is with us, but just said Greg is still sleepy at the moment, so I don't know if Donna's on and,
One day last week, Greg made my show. I think he had to go to the bathroom or something.
well, I sometimes wonder if he has to get up and travel early enough that maybe he can.
Yeah, that boy, he'll go anywhere, won't he?
Telling you, he'll burn them wheels up, and I mean, for a good deal or anything to do with the children's home,
Yeah,
he's up and gone, and
I
that's
admire him.
yeah, that's it's I mean, which God bless that there's people out there doing it, I mean,
Amen.
uh,
Pretty good man. Pretty good man.
yeah. But hey, Terry said, hoping to get more into medicine. 2020 taught us that supply chain is
Yeah,
extremely fragile. Absolutely did.
ain't that the truth? Taught a lot of people that. And
Yeah.
we've been doing homesteading stuff for a lot of years, but 2020 caused us to bear down a little more.
Well, that's it. I mean, that was, I guess you might say paying attention to things, kind of, knowing things were out there, but just chugging along in their life, and then, yeah, 20, we ran out of toilet paper, kind of,
We never did. Now,
well, I never actually did, but I mean, I'm just saying it's,
yeah,
I,
I can remember, Ryan. Funny enough, when I was growing up, I did not grow up with spare money. Let me just say that
oh,
we just barely got by
right,
on $500 a month with three kids and my
right,
grandparents.
right,
And I can remember as a young man married to Dina when we first got married. The first time we run out of paper towels and I could afford to just go get another roll.
right.
That was pretty cool, I thought.
Uh, let's see. So Scotty shared this. Jack, maybe you should talk to Black's Tropical Homestead. I think that's their channel. They do all sorts of remedies for things. Look to make sure, let you know. Yeah. And so
My
yeah.
problem is I've got some internal stuff going on that won't allow me to take what I need to take because it's acidic. The,
Ah,
the fire cider I can't touch, and that I feel like the fire cider and maybe some ivermectin would
right,
kick this to the curb.
right. But oh, t- hang on. Robbie said 12 of his 17 fertile eggs hatched.
That is awesome, Robbie. I'm so happy for you. I wonder how Amy and those other 20 dozen I took worked out.
Yeah. But yeah, Terry said land prices jumped since they bought their place up there. So, yeah, land prices have jumped everywhere.
Well, that ain't no joke.
I we got very we bought this property even though we didn't move up here till recently. We bought it in 2019, and man, am I glad we got it when we did because we wouldn't have been able to have done it if we'd have done it after. I don't think. And
I don't have any idea on crypto. Do you?
not enough. Keith might have a better answer on that. He's dabbled in it in the past, so uh, I'm not. I've not dabbled. I know people who do. Uh, and I you know, I mean, everybody hears about the Bitcoin and
Yeah.
Dogecoin and this, that, and the other, but I've just not honestly. I know the Bitcoin, one of those moments you look back on. I remember when it first came out, I got an offer in my email, and it was like $1. And I read this thing, and it was like, 100, and I'm reading through it, and I'm thinking, man, this is a scam. This is just
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and all this, and I was like, man, I am not, And then I got to reading, and of course, and I had my uh, had the thoughts about the digital currency at the time and everything, and I was like, I ain't touching this. Then I woke up one day and said, what? God gummit, you know. But I still haven't seen any of it. I still haven't, I mean, I got friends that have it, and people like here on
Ter-
the chat that are
Terry's got some apparently.
and yeah, Terry has some, and okay, and a guy like Keith's answer, invest in farmland.
Yep. And Terry's saying the same thing.
Farming land is the best. That's it. But
We bought this farm in 14, and we are just barely shy of actual double what
yeah,
we gave for it.
uh,
Right.
I haven't had it. I haven't had an appraisal or anything done since we bought this. But
We have.
and and, and I part of me wants to, part of me doesn't want to because I'm afraid of what I'd be tempted to do. uh,
Well, I'm here. When we bought this, I told Dina, this is my retirement home. I'm
well,
done.
that
Moved like 8 times in 35 years.
yeah. Well, I spent a career moving every.
Yeah, you did. A little more than I did.
I moved a lot, and which is great. Was great at the time. And Greg said, or Donna, one of them said, I'm upside down in Doge, but doubled my money in Bitcoin. So there
Sound
you
like I'd get Doge because it's cheap.
go. Well, you can definitely get it. Been investing in tools. Well, you can never go wrong investing in tools.
So I've got a question for the group on that right there.
Uh-huh.
As most of you know, or a lot of you do, lost my brother-in-law recently. And one of his big investments was tools. How do you recoup it?
Um, depends on the brand. Depends on.
All snap on.
Oh, you can sell them. You can sell them on, I mean, whether it's marketplace, eBay, you can sell them. I mean, they are. If it's brands like Snap-on, Matco, K&D, those top brands, you'll have no problem selling them.
He's snap on through and through.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to go about pricing them.
Well, I mean, eBay has price comps for what things, to get in what things sold for, in the recent, so you can kind of see what the market's bearing, but. Or you can even, of course, go on and price the brand new price through, that. But honestly, yeah, he put Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist.
I'm thinking about buying a few of them myself, but this is how my sister is going to survive.
Right. But believe me, it's like I'm sitting there thinking about a dozen people right now going, ooh, but because yeah, but comparison on eBay gets you your best, what it sold for on eBay, and but yes, anything Snap on, like I said, things like that, they're gonna resell. And I definitely price it above. What
That's what Terry's saying. Look at used price and then look at new and split the difference.
yeah, it's and that's fair because most of the time, they make some people will counter offer thing. Um, if you go eBay, I wouldn't put it in the auction side. I'd put it in the
Split price.
buy it now price.
Yeah.
That way you have the option to
Use the sold filter. Thank y'all.
yeah, down on when you go in on eBay, if you go in there on search, there'll be filters, and you can put completed and sold, or you got to hit more, and it scrolls down, and it'll show what sold, recent.
I'm going to be selling it all for her so that she doesn't have strangers coming to her place by herself.
Absolutely, absolutely. I, my garage is a mixture of good brand tools and hobo freight, uh,
Ditto.
CA China, and my only
Ditto.
measure for a tool is does it work, and
Some of my best tools come from garage sales.
yeah, I just ordered one of them CA China, uh, um,
One of them toolkit things.
well, no, it's torque wrench, inch pound torque wrench. You
Oh,
know.
I got a freebie from Hobo Freight.
Oh, there we go.
Spend $50 and get so much free. Or I got a what is that? What is that brand?
Yeah. Got,
Kawasaki.
oh yeah. People hear snap on and their eyes open wide. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, uh, but you know, I which like I said, I mean, you know, I'm not that much of a tool snob when it comes to that. There's things I like. If it comes to a battery tool, like a power tool, then it's either going to be a DeWalt or it's going to be a Craftsman because I already have batteries and chargers. Um,
DeWalt.
yeah, I love my DeWalts.
I've
And
I've got some other tools that aren't DeWalt, but I bought DeWalt battery adapters for them,
oh, okay.
so you can actually use the DeWalt battery on them. My daddy-in-law's gone rigid 100%. Got rid of his DeWalt
No,
because rigid's lifetime. Even if you buy it used, you can send it back to them and get a new one.
right. But you know, it's Terry asked, "What's your favorite homestead tools?" But
Uh, Laborer,
uh,
hard hand,
hired hand, no kidding. Somebody else doing it, yeah.
probably my Kubota.
Well, that's what I was about to say. My tractor is my best friend. That's
Well, I don't have a Kubota tractor. I got a 1953 Ford Golden Jubilee.
oh, really? Wow. How do you
Yeah.
like that? Do you like that? Mine was I had my 8N was a 48 or 49.
So that 8N is a 17 horse.
Right.
The
Well,
9N is a 19 horse, and the Golden Jubilee is a 27 horse.
right. I all I know is Terry says shockingly change. Wait, where'd it go? Where there it moved. Shockingly enough, chainsaw is mine.
Yeah,
Well, you know, it don't love you apparently.
yeah. I must love chainsaws too. I got about 6 of them.
Yeah, he said I love a tractor, but in the woods you don't have much room to negotiate and navigate.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Um, no, we bought this property. Of course, I'd been living in town, and uh, let's see, probably said it'd be between the tractor and Lee.
Lee's his boy.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, good set of hands is worth it. We moved up here. Of course, I didn't. Yeah, too much firewood to cut without that. My splitter. Yeah, that makes a big difference. I mean, your needs dictate which tool matters. You know, what's your day to day. I We moved up here and bought this place, and there was a lot more cleared and grass than woods. I've got some, but I didn't have a tractor. Had to have my son-in-law's dad bring his brush hog up and cut it down the first time because everything was so high. He come up with his 70 horse Kubota and an 8 foot brush hog and knocked it out for me.
That'd
But
be nice.
yeah, oh cab tractor AC, he's out there, he just chilling. Yeah,
I
uh,
dream of it someday.
yeah, and but anyway, so I had to have a tractor. Well, a guy I worked with had an old 8N with a brush hog, and so he had I paid it out to him over a few weeks, a couple months, whatever. Anyway, I spent more time working on that old thing than I did driving it, and
We go ahead.
I was gonna say it lost compression, and it just
I remember you saying that the other day.
and
We
it was just
moved here, and Dina said, "Oh, we don't need a tractor." I said, "We need to get a tractor."
yep,
She said, "We don't need a tractor." Well, the place had a few chickens, and we ain't had chickens in a couple of years at that time.
right.
And she was sitting on the back porch with a friend of ours, and a coyote come along, snagged one of her prize chickens right in front of them.
Oh,
The next weekend, we had a tractor. She
there you
said, "You
go.
need to brush hog this place so I can see."
There you go. Um, for me, it's as much pet old ticks that thing, but I mean, I got it down. Which like I said, I mean, I old tractor, I get it started, of course, with low compression. It's a booger to get them started, but once you can
Yeah,
get them going, and uh, but and I guess Greg said, agree, it's my tractor first. Yeah. Um, and but I'd fought with that thing, and I got out there, and it was summertime. We had a 4th of July thing coming up, and I needed to get the place cut down. And I sat out there and I fought with that thing, and I fought with that thing, and I fought with it, and I got mad. And I picked up the phone. And I called Cindy. I said, "That's it. I'm done." And I went found a used one, but the bank didn't want to mess with me on it, and so I got mad at that. Rolled down to the tractor place and had them deliver me a brand new tractor. and I've not regretted it. Let's just put it that way. It's not been a regret.
No,
Uh,
I'm wanting to, but we're trying real hard to get to where we can retire sooner than later,
right.
and
Well,
that don't fit.
well, I've got everything set. I said that outside of the property or the travel trailer, and I can work on those. But I always said that it's got to be able to be paid off,
Yeah,
uh, by a certain time, and because I don't want to be north of 65 with a bunch of debt.
no, I don't want to be north of 57.
Well, you're tracking on a good, you got a shorter
We're
go.
trying.
Well, I've got things that are, closing in. I mean, the tractors, I don't know, I guess it's closing in on halfway. But
Want to make a comment on Terry's
oh,
LOL. That's the best way to get good tools.
uh,
Man, I don't know how many times over the years somebody said, "Why'd you go buy that? I could have loaned you mine. You only use something every now and then." I said, "Because that's the only way I get tools is when there's a need."
right. Oh yeah. It was like when the craftsman kind of thing. I mean, of course I like craftsman hand tools. I got a bunch of them, and some of them are the older sets and stuff like that. The, but yeah, it was like I needed a tool for a job. So, and I'm looking at the price for something I'm going to use once in a while,
Yeah,
something versus, and it's like I can't justify the DeWalt price. Yeah. But yeah, yard sales, estate sales, and that type of thing. I like what I'm going to put that up there. Yeah.
Terry's right.
Borrow it three times, you need your own. That's a fair assessment. That's probably pretty fair assessment. I need a box blade right now.
Borrow for me is too closely related to broke,
Ah, right.
and broke means replace.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
don't want borrowing.
that was my rule. Now, my son-in-laws, I mean, the one that lives here on the property, especially, I'll let I've told him, I said, you know where the toolbox is. I mean, it's. Jeff said he gets his at auctions.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, auctions and estate sales and things like that are excellent places to pick up deals on tools. Uh, Keith, this is Keith. He's a landlord guy. He's a wise woman, but in
yeah,
my mind, if I need it once, it goes in the bag.
I
Uh,
agree. That's where I'm at, Keith.
uh, And let's see, where are we at? There, he said, had to replace the axle on his car. I could buy the tools and do it myself cheaper, then I'd have the tools to keep. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, I have some of the tools I got because I had a shop, and I was working on stuff. We were doing body work and we were doing mechanic work. And um, so, a lot of the things were bought because that was what we were doing and I had to have them. And I bought one tool, which I'll probably be using coming up here in the future again. But it was it's a puller for a harmonic balancer. Scotty said,
Got
Confucius,
it.
Confucius says a farmer's tractor is a worthy adversary.
Amen.
That's all right. I'll fight you over my tractor. There's a whole lot of things, but the but it was a harmonic balancer puller for the Chrysler 4 cylinders, um, and it's a special puller you have to have for that harmonic balancer.
Wow.
You will break the balancer, or you will break the puller if you try to use anything but that. And so I went down to the old Advanced AutoZone and did the Lona tool and used it. And I looked at that. I said, you know what? That one's not going back. Stuck it on the shelf and still have it. And still have it. And I've used it multiple times. And I had a friend that was helping me out, and he was going to pull that while I was going to work, and I forgot to tell him about that. I come home, he had every set of pullers I had except for that set laying out on the garage floor. That thing off, and uh, uh, yeah, you're getting into a sore spot there, Greg. I said after thinking about it, I'd say a shop building will be high on the list. You have to have a place to keep your tools, and I don't have a shop yet.
One centralized location would be nice. I got tools in 5 different places on this farm.
I, Man, I've got them in two different geographical locations, uh, but I've got tools I haven't seen in 2 years because they're sitting, somewhere else. I've got, the house here came with a detached two-car garage,
Yeah,
um, and um, one side I use for storage. It's got my generators, it's got the four-wheeler, the lawnmower, that type of stuff in it, and the other side is where my for a long time it was empty, and that's where I parked my tractor. Uh, every man's dream.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no kidding. And but it's and I so now when we actually moved up here and I moved everything out of my garage in town, uh, I just moved in real fast, and so I just threw things in there, and I'm just now getting to where I'm starting to organize it and put it together to where I can get in and actually not have to dig through things. But I've got four totes sitting back there loaded up with stuff, and it's added a lean-to. Let's see what he say. Added a lean-to to the back of the park, to back the mower and the generator, other odds and ends. But I need more space. There is no such thing as not enough space. There's too much
I
space.
had a friend of mine at church, well advanced in years of me,
Right.
told me when I was getting ready to build my first shop years ago that build it bigger than you think you need because you'll always need more.
Oh yeah.
He was right.
I've got, I mean, that's it. It's never, I don't care how big you build it, it's never enough. When I actually had my shop, we started out it was two bays, just regular car bays, wasn't anything big. And we had an additional building to the side, of course, you never had enough room. Well, then we moved to a different shop and it was more room, but I'll promise you, we were just as crowded in there. Uh, you know, let's see, more space of less stuff.
That's right, Keith.
Yeah.
I've got a 40 by 60 right now with 16-foot sidewalls,
And that's wow, man.
and it ain't big enough. Tractor sitting outside.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I got there's a lot of them over there. Always looking for that one tool you can never find where you put it. Uh, that goes back to I'm terrible at it, but I used to be good at it, is everything's got a spot and that's where it goes back. And if you don't put it back, you'll never find it. Uh, but I'm terrible about it. Uh, but
Ditto.
I've got I got I got some chicken house trusses. I got a smoking good deal on a set of trusses a couple of years ago, and it's enough for a 40 by 40. If I build it out, and I wanted a 40 by 60, and I did. I need two more sets of trusses to get 60. If I build
Yeah,
it out, I'll pay more for those two sets of trusses than I paid for the five sets that I have right now. Um, and because the
that
price.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and I ran into that. I was out on the farm with the guy that I bought them from the other day, and he had some more land on the fence, and I kind of hit him up about it, and he said, "No, Mama's got plans." I'm like, "Okay, all right, all right," but
I
we've
bought a set of trusses. My daddy-in-law and mom-in-law were building a new house, and I
yeah,
bought a set of trusses that came in wrong off of them. Well worth the money.
right,
Kept them for 4 years. Didn't do nothing with them, and my wife's uncle wanted them, and I doubled my money, and he thought he was uh,
doing good,
taking
right.
me to the bank.
Oh,
He got a good deal,
I could sell those for well more than I paid for them.
but you can't replace them.
But I couldn't replace them, and that's the thing. And and I brought them home, dropped them off on the ground. They're metal, so wouldn't worry. But dropped them off on the ground, and uh, there's a lot of that stuff. Terry said talking about they went from 1,800 square feet to 400, uh, and he's talking about horrible about putting stuff back. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was freeing actually. We get rid of so much stuff, so our stuff tends to own us. And but anyway, uh, all
See
right, Ed.
you, Mr. Ed.
See you, Ed. Have a good day, brother. And well, be safe and stay dry out there this weekend. Have a good weekend, brother.
I'm gonna have to run pretty quick. I've got to go to Fort Sill this morning.
Oh, lovely. Go out to the
See
old.
my head doctor.
Oh, hey, gotta go
Yeah.
do what you gotta go do. But yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I miss being close to a base, and other times I'm glad I'm nowhere near one.
Well, I'm 40 miles from Fort Sill.
We got reserve bases and stuff around here.
Yeah.
Stuff, air base and stuff. But yeah, it's but yeah, it's tools matter, and having a place to put them. My son-in-law and I kind of was just, it's there on my plan, but he's kind of turned into a gearhead. He's getting into where he's wanting to work on his vehicles, and that got me back to turning wrench with him, and then having to fix on the family's vehicle,
Yes,
Keith's
me.
shrink jack.
Yes. Head
uh,
doctor.
Head doctor. That's it. But they do. Hey, sometimes they help. Sometimes they help.
And she is Arabic. It took me some getting used to because of things in my head.
Uh, yeah,
Stick on that.
yeah. I
You might well know.
yes, 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 indeed. It took. Yeah, spent my time on the couch, so to speak. So, but yeah, and probably wouldn't hurt to have one now, but I ain't gonna do it.
Now,
Next,
I want to make something. I want to clear something up here. I got some good Arabic friends. I'm not. I'm not. What do you say? Prejudiced at all. But from the tragedies and the PTSD that I suffer from,
yep.
they play a big role.
Yeah, it. And I know where you're at, Jeff. That Terry's talking about his tools or Jeff saying his tools are in totes since New York,
Scotty,
and
I'm
it's
gonna tell Karen, Scotty.
no kidding, right? Later,
Not really. I wouldn't tell her. I'll just ask her if she knows.
yeah. Well, she probably does because she probably feels the same way.
Yeah, because she's married too.
But yeah, no. And Terry said it didn't come across that way. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
uh,
good. Good.
yeah, it's that was a big challenge. I mean, I was fortunate. When I was seeking help at the time several years ago, one I was adamant that it was medicine wasn't the answer, pills weren't the answer. I was adamant about that,
I still am, my friend.
and oh yeah, and took me two or three before I found one. Because my first, I walked in, I was irritated by then. I walked in, I said, "Listen, if the first thing you're going to do is grab a prescription pad, we're not even speaking to each other." And he said, "Well, good news. I'm a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. I can't write a script anyway." And I'm like, "Okay." He said, "I'd rather." He said, "Now let's get down to business." And so I spent quite a bit of time with him and worked through a lot of things. And I ain't going to say, fixed it or cured it, or I don't have from time to time things to deal with about it. He just taught me some really good coping mechanisms, and they've worked. And
I
uh,
have learned things like rescripting your mind and yeah.
yeah, that whole thing with the eye, doing closing out, yeah, and that did more probably to help me than anything was just that, and so
It's brought a little peace. Yeah, I agree. I
and
can't
it's
take sleeping meds because they knock me completely out. Then I can't wake up the next morning.
yeah,
Then they won't give me a pill to wake me up after giving me a pill to put me to sleep. And I was like, there's something wrong with this picture. It ain't happening.
yeah, that's yeah, it was that was a dark few years, and I made a lot of stupid during those few years, and
I did
just
too.
things, and uh, I tell people it's like basically I spent 5 years as an insomniac, and um, because
Oh,
I didn't.
Keith's sucking up to Scotty for some reason.
Yeah, and I think it's a mutual,
He might be Keith's, yeah.
he's we love Scotty. He's
We sure do. He turns the lights on every morning.
and
Not on my show, not every day.
uh, but what Terry said I've had problems finding doctors that don't want to go to scripts. That is a
Yeah,
fact.
no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. See what it said. First thing they do is weigh you to see what dose you need. Yep.
I never thought of it that way, but I went to the doctor last week for a second time and told him, said, just write down too much. I don't want to get on that scale.
Right. That's it. Man card thing. He said. Good morning, Tracy. Glad to see you in.
Man card.
I get
He's
it.
not sucking up, he's saving points.
There you go. Right. Scored them. There you go. But yeah, it's but anyway, yeah. Huh? Oh, my wife just made a sale on her resale stuff. She went, huh?
That's cool. That's cool. You're in the money now. You can get a new tractor.
Sold a pair of socks. Sold a pair of socks.
Oh, that ain't gonna buy you no new tractor.
Oh, no, but no, she went all day yesterday without making a sale, so she was kind of needing to. She gets that charge every time one of those cha-chings goes. And
That's cool. That's
she
cool.
does
I
that.
understand.
That's her side hustle over there, and hey, we have fun doing it. We go thrifting and we do all that stuff, and then she lists and sells. And But yeah, no, actually, I'm glad she's doing it. But hey, listen, no tractor, but it's paying for half of the countertops.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
so
Nothing wrong with that.
no, it's not. Yeah. So, yeah, no, and I look at it this way: it pays for her shopping, uh, bug, and it's pays for itself. It's not, it's got its
Y'all
own.
can hear my biggest side hustle in the background.
Oh yeah, 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 your chickens. There you
Yeah,
go,
I got 70 chicks in this room with me.
man.
They're going out this weekend though. I got to put them in the bigger brooder. They're growing quite a bit, and I got one incubator that's due to hatch tomorrow, and the quail eggs locked down tomorrow.
Scotty, I'm not going to put that up, and I'm not going to repeat it because there was a time in life she made more money than I did. So, uh, but
Uh, yeah.
but
Scotty's walking a tightrope this morning.
I'm telling you, she must be out of town or something. Not going to be reading on it anyway. Uh, yeah, Terry said my wife would be good with that. We have to have a place to put it.
That's
Uh,
goodbye, Terry.
I tell you, yeah, it is $4, and they sold them used on eBay for 75. Yep, that's the way it is. And my wife wears the stuff. She buys it. A lot of the stuff, not everything. She has too much, but uh, she wears a lot of it. And if she finds something she likes, it's almost guaranteed it's going to sell. Like if she wants to keep it, it's almost guaranteed to sell.
Yep.
And but no, she talk about room, Terry. I've got one room in my house. It's kind of a closet room, but anyway, there is, let's see, I think we're up to Q. So whatever that is in the alphabet, there's totes stacked everywhere full of merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand about room. I've got to add on. I got a whole lot of work to do in this house to make room for inventory. So,
I got to tackle the garage this weekend.
well, I'm going to be in the garage. I've got to do a transmission shift solenoid on a 2008 Chrysler minivans transaxle.
I'm glad it's you and not me, my friend.
Well, I wish it was somebody else and not me, but I was able to buy the tool, which was that inch pounds torque wrench, and all the parts and supplies for under $200 versus paying a transmission shop $1,000.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
It's stupid, ridiculous how expensive. I,
and
I put that new DEF pump in my pickup
ooh,
a
ooh,
couple 3 months ago. They wanted $1,700 to put that in. I put it in for 80.
yeah, that's it. You're gonna love this one, Jack. Sure is. If I talk about Scotty, I'd either be dumb or tough. Uh,
Yeah, or
well,
both.
well, if you you better be tough. That's he said or dead.
Yeah, Scotty, I
Uh,
love you, brother.
he keeps us.
Boston Bad Boy. That's what his name used to be up there.
I tell you what, Karen's sleeping, for we've been packing. We have to move within a month, so trying to find a house. Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, we be praying for that, brother.
Ted, I'm gonna put that up so we can read it. Yeah, that's definitely be praying for that because I just imagine things aren't cheap up there when it comes to having to find a place.
No, I couldn't imagine living in that many people.
Oh,
Been there too
yeah.
much in Oklahoma City, and it ain't nothing like Boston.
Oh man, I lived in Southern California for 3 years. I lived,
I
that
got
was
on the exit in Boston, and I don't remember the interstate now, but you make the big old circle coming, a cloverleaf type circle coming off the interstate onto another one, and you can't see around the circle because all the trees and forestry and stuff in the middle.
I know which one you're talking about.
Halfway through, I got shut down. There's a wreck from me. If I'd have known that, I'd have never taken the exit.
Right. Oh
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it
That
was.
was, that's the weird thing about, I mean, outside of like, a handful of, outside of like New York City and stuff, but going up in the Northeast like that
Yeah.
is how much the woods actually are uh, wrapped around everything, and you can't see what's happening next. And
Yep. It,
once,
it was it was eye opener for me, and all the roads are narrower,
very
smaller roads out there.
narrow. Trust me, taking semis through there wasn't no picnic.
That's why I was in a semi.
Yeah. We moved here because too many people, and it wasn't many compared to those cities. Yeah.
I'd agree. Not cheap up here at all.
Yeah. Jeff said, I'm 30 minutes from population. Now that's what I'm talking about.
That's nice, Jeff.
It takes me one reason I use Google Maps to drive shows traffic. Yeah, it's
You
I
know,
don't.
Google Maps didn't exist in the 90s.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. I was still in there learning to trust them before back then. So,
I was still using Rand McNally.
well, yeah, exactly. They don't. You be well. You're around that stuff. I mean, these drivers today, they don't know anything about that. It's if that
No,
GPS can't drive them there, they don't know nothing about it.
off grid GPS, as Jesse calls it.
Yep, that's it. I keep one. In fact, we keep one at Terry said, 30 minutes from the nearest stoplight. Well, there's only one stoplight in the whole county there. I mean, good grief.
Well, I'm really enjoying myself, but I've got to run, my
Well,
friend.
we do too. We need to wrap it up because I've got to get changed to get the work clothes on and get ready to head off to that for another long day. But at least it's the weekend coming up. Everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. You, Jack, try to get better, man. Try to get better.
Working on it. Definitely working on it.
There you go. I would tell you what my daddy used to do, but that wouldn't be a good cure. So
I'm tempted.
I tell you what, yeah, it was ugly when he got sick, but anyway, so but
Yeah.
yeah, man, well, like I said, Scotty, yeah, I gotta stay close to the doctors. I get it.
Yeah.
And,
God bless y'all. I'll see y'all on down the road.
all right, Jack, we'll see, bud. Thanks for jumping on.
You bet.
But anyway, Terry, I don't know if I haven't seen Monday's schedule yet, uh, but it'll either be recorded or it'll be Memorex or I'll be there. But anyway, you have a good day, Terry, and have a good weekend, all of y'all. And I'm not going to read. I mean, the upcoming events I've read through them. I'm not going to. So we're going to wrap it up today on the morning edition, Front Porch Friday. Thanks for joining us. Great conversation this morning. We enjoyed as we strive towards building stronger communities now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected and help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. And listen, I would be remiss if I didn't give you a little brain buster today. Question. Y'all ponder on this one over the weekend, and I dare you not to think about this one. If you were born deaf, what language would you think in? Mm, there you go. Put that one, wrap your mind around that one. If you were born deaf, what language would you think in? Interesting. But anyway, just a little brain teaser there. Listen, everybody, have a great weekend. Until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Uh, Good food starts with great people just like you. Remember, we are, as you say in the comment, hashtag stronger together. Hashtag think outside the big box store, shop local. Hashtag don't tick off your wife. Anyway, and be a blessing to someone today. Everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. Let's remember those soldiers fallen. That's what Memorial Day is for, is remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. And anyway, let's keep them in our thoughts and our prayers this weekend. Everybody go out and be safe this weekend. And look forward to seeing you all back on Monday. That was the point, Terry, by the way, is to make your head hurt. But anyway, be a blessing to someone. Hashtag silent language. And we will see you all on the other side. We're going to send this to Hank to get us on out of here before I get in too much trouble. Y'all have a great weekend, y'all.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.